Um, Sorry, spacing out a bit. It is Saturday evening, a little bit after 5. I guess Saturday late afternoon, thereabouts. I say evening because it is certainly evening for me. I will be in bed in about 2 hours or so. Depends on how the live stream goes. If anyone shows up, I get the feeling it's not going to be a super busy live stream, which might be okay for all of us, Get a chance to relax. If anyone does show up, we can have a nice peaceful conversation, which is interesting, as some parts of today's live stream weren't quite so peaceful, and that's okay. I think when it occurred to me that I did a short little video on Course in Miracles and the Tao of live streaming, that live streaming is a way, it's a practice, it's a way of whatever shows up. I get the opportunity to forgive, I get the opportunity to choose peace. Not for the event, not for the person, not even for myself. What I'm forgiving is the misperception that something is going wrong. I'm giving up the misperception that things could be different than they are right now. I think when sometimes there might be the impression that when we say choose peace, that means that we pretend that something isn't happening. Choosing peace isn't bypassing. It's not saying that I'm not upset. It's not saying that this doesn't get me pissed off, that I'm not angry. It's saying that I'm choosing to return to peace even with that anger. I'm willing to let that anger go. I'm willing to allow it to exist, but also let it go. That I'm not holding on, I'm not clinging. Things stay as long as they stay. So when we say, that we choose peace, when we say that we're forgiving, by no means think of it as bypassing. What we're looking for is the reality that allows the moment itself to be. And that can only come by accepting the fact that what's in this moment right now might be something that doesn't feel so good. So I definitely want to address that it's not bypassing. One of the big tenets of Course in Miracles is that we are all teachers. They call it teachers of God. And that we teach, every single one of us, whether we know it or not, is a teacher of God. But we teach what we most need to learn. And we teach by example. So if I'm doing a live stream and my buttons are continuously being pushed, if I'm feeling threatened, if I'm feeling vulnerable, if I'm feeling angry, if I'm feeling defensive, what I need to learn is, what are these things showing up for? What are they teaching me? Can I look within myself and examine it and see? One of the things you learn in yoga, as well as Buddhism for that matter, is that by right, we don't change. But things change. Things change through the lens of awareness. So that's my thing with self-improvement. When we think we grit our teeth and I'll make myself better. I will be a better person today than I was yesterday, that I will grow. I'll make a list of 5 things I'll do every day to be a better person. All great intentions. However, it's the ego trying to make the ego better, and the ego thrives on self-recognition. If it gets better, it'll say, let's get even better. If it gets worse, it'll have blame. It'll assign blame to other people. If other people don't fit the bill, then it'll assign blame to us. And it's a self-perpetuating danger zone. Always trying to get better, always trying to do this. The fact is that we don't know what better actually is until we do, until we experience that brief sense of peace and we say, I want that. I want that all the time. Our friend Bumblebee T is here. T says hi. T, how are you, my friend? How are you since the last time I talked to you, which was not that long ago? Let me bring up my desktop, as it's easier for me to see some of the names. Is that Mobile? Mobile LOL. Hello, my friend. Lelop says, what happened to Walter White? What did happen to him? Did he go to prison, or did he go to, or did he die at the end? I never watched it. I set out to, but at that point in my life, I didn't want a story of regression. I didn't want a story of someone who was what appeared to be a good man who went the other direction. I'd rather have the opposite. You guys remember the TV show Angel in the 90s and early 2000s? There was someone who went the opposite direction. It was a vampire. And he gained a soul, and he saw the suffering of all the experienced the suffering of all the past sins that he did, and he set out to make it right. Let's see. Verlik? I'm pronouncing everyone's name wrong. I apologize. Pizza dough or dildo? You know what? It all depends on where you like it. That's all I'll say about that. Lelop says, no, I'm saying you look like an uncanny Walter White. I've heard that before. And yet I'm also told that I look like all these other people, and none of these people look like each other. Not sure how that happens. T says, just checking a few things, but exhausted. I hope you get some rest, my friend. Sorry. Just smiling at the comments. V Gamer says, you're a Sigma, my skibidi. I think you're mistaken, my friend. We're talking about my Sigma? Or your skibidi? Or we're talking about my skibidi and your Sigma? Randolph says, say hello. Hello, Randolph. How are you? LS Edits says, he kind of looked like if Walter White and Christian Bale somehow had a kid. So you're saying if Batman was a drug dealer, that might be the single greatest compliment I've ever gotten. If Batman made meth, if Batman made meth in his bathtub, would he call it bat meth? I can deal with that. Let's see. V-Gamer says, no, you're a Sigma. Well, I would take great offense to that, except I don't know what Sigma means. So, that's okay. So, that means you're a skibidi. The question is, can Sigmas and skibidis get along? Can there be peace among the Sigma and skibidi kingdoms? I don't know, my friend, but we can take that initial step right now. We can heal the discord between the Sigmas and the skibidis. Let me be the first to extend a hand of friendship. Randolph is good. Glad to hear that, Randolph. I'm doing pretty well, too. Long day. I get up early in the morning. I've been up since 2:30. This is my third live stream of the day, which sounds like I have no life whatsoever. However, I do a lot in between. And yes, I did say do. So go ahead and get it out. Get it out of your systems. I said do. Anyway, yeah, I do a lot in between my live streams. Randolph says, I thought you looked great. Hey, you know what? Batman Batman in his tidy whities making meth in his bathtub. That's not a bad image. But I appreciate that, Randolph. We get some laughing emojis from LS Edits. So LSN Edits says Sigma and Skibidi are dumb words that the younger generation uses. Well, I could say groovy, but then I would be throwing out the dumb words of my generation. Actually, that's not even from my generation. I'm actually Generation X. And Generation X, we said dude a lot. We said cool. Stuff like that. We were the original MTV generation when it actually played music. So, the gamer very kindly explains this to me. Thank you. Sigma equal cool guy. Cool day. Hey, that's good to know. So what's the other one mean? So Sigma means like a masculine man, and Skibidi is some really weird show on YouTuber. Okay, I can appreciate that. Although I gotta admit, I'm pretty weird myself. I might have a touch of Skibidi. I might have the edge. I might have the Skibidi edge. Barb says, hi, my spiritual brother. And this is Barb, my spiritual sister. Hello, my friend. Randolph says, I'm awake early as well. What do you do when you get up early? Barb says, hi, everyone in the room. I think I already said that. Randolph said no. V-Gamer says, can you make me mod? I'll tell you what, if you show up and hang out for a while, like a few weeks, because you got a couple other people waiting, and it wouldn't be right to them if I made someone who just came in. If it was up to me, I'd make everyone mod, but it makes some of the old timers here uncomfortable. Randolph says, I can visualize that, and it was great. It is pretty great. Batman and his tidy whities making meth in his bathtub. In his bathtub. His bat-tub. Leo said so. Our friend Leo said so. The Zen master, the nasal breathing Zen master of the burpee world, of burpee dumb. The Buddha of nasal breathing Zen master burpees. All right. I think I got it all out. Says, the goat. Good afternoon, sir. Hope your day is great, brother. Thank you, Leo. It is pretty good. Hey, your reps look good. It looks like you're healing. I know you said there was discomfort, but you weren't grimacing in pain, you know, the way you have the past few days. Free Gamer says, yeah. And speaking of burpees, Eric Lapointe. Yogi, long time no see. Eric, how are you? Eric is the master of the wood splitter burpee. By rights, it should be called the Eric Lapointe wood splitter burpee. Full credit where it belongs. Barb says, I think we are weird in some way or another. Yep, I wouldn't have it any other way. Weird in the original Anglo-Saxon Germanic, Shamatic, meant web. That all of life, all of existence was a web. And that if you tug on one strand of the web, the entire universe vibrates in unison. Everything connected. So when something like synchronistic, a meaningful coincidence, we were given a sign, happened, they would say that's weird. Meaning, that's connected, that's a sign, that's auspicious. And then it just went to when something was far out, it was weird, and that's how we got weird. Originally spelled W-Y-R-D. Hey, Wolf is here. Wolf is saying hi as to Leo. Randolph says I'm eccentric myself. That's good to hear. You know what? So people that are eccentric, that change the world. because they're not afraid to step out of the present paradigm. They're more free, they're more open, they're okay with themselves, allowing their naturalness to show. Randolph says, go to work. This is actually my work right now. I'm finally a fully monetized YouTube channel. And I'm proud to say that I make cents a day. Hard cents. Sometimes up to 17 cents. That's not so bad for sitting in front of a computer, sitting in front of a phone, and just having a conversation with some fun people. B-Gamer says, bet. What are we going to bet on, my friend? Barb has connected to Leo. Awesome. Leo's a great guy. You're going to see some hard work there. Watt Life, how are you, my friend? It's been a few days since we've seen you. Greetings, beautiful people. Randolph says, I could imagine. Oh, I'm falling behind, guys. So let me dig in here, make some headway. Watt Life says, I hope you all having a wonderful day. My day's pretty good, Watt. How about you? Leo says, what's up, guy? People in the chat. Hope you guys are doing great. Thank you for that, Leo. Leo, Barb, up ahead. La Korea, La Kit. It's been a while since I practiced that, and I put my cheat sheet aside. So we're just going to say Barb, up ahead, has sub to you, my friend. T says hello to Barb and Leo. V-Gamer says, I hope you become a famous grandpa. That's the dream. That is the dream. I have a stepchild, so I guess by rights I'd be a step-grandpa. But you know what? I'm willing to welcome everyone under my grandpa-ness. I'm going to be that, like, the YouTube grandpa. People just show up. Give me some elderly advice. And then I'm going to chase everyone off of my YouTube lawn. I'm going to shake my imaginary rake. I'm going to get out my imaginary garden hose and scream, get off my lawn. Get off my lawn, you troublesome kids. Let's see. Randolph says, I myself don't do math. Neither do I. Never have. I've done some other stuff. I've smoked a lot of pot. I've done lots of hallucinogenics. Like, you guys couldn't have guessed that. Stuff like cocaine and things like that. Very, very rarely. I couldn't afford it, guys. And that was decades and decades and decades ago. Leo says, all mental fortitude, brother. Ignore the pain and push on. Slowly becoming a yogi myself. You're already there, man. You are already there. Barb says, Leo, that's what I must do with pain. And she does. Barb soldiers on, as does her friend Wolf. Randolph says that's true. Leo says we get the work done. Either we are afraid of it or we embrace it. Let's go, Barb. And you know what? The two aren't mutually exclusive. You can be afraid of it and still embrace it. And that's even more, there's more growth knowing that you're afraid and yet doing the thing anyway. Randolph says, I love the way you think. Thanks. Let's see. Barb says, LOL Yogi, I got enough to be paid this month, but YouTube got 40%, so it was less than 100, so I have to wait. Yeah, YouTube takes its cut. I actually haven't been paid yet by YouTube, as it's only been a week since I've been monetized. Randolph says, what is your age? 59 years old. I was going to make you guess, and then I thought, man, what if he says like 75? Nothing the matter with being 75. Nothing the matter of looking 75, unless you're 59. T is asking for Leo's link. Thank you for that, Barb. Wolf said it didn't work. Barb's going to try again. Randolph says you're welcome. Let's see. Oh, hey, T. I have him up on my community page if you scroll down. So if it doesn't work, you can go to my community page and scroll down and you can subscribe to Leo Said So. Randolph says that's why I stopped to listen to you. I appreciate that. Always happy to make new friends. Let's see. Let's see how far down. I'm not too far down. T says I was sub to Leo. Awesome. Randolph says because I seen the traits of some myself. Hey, Randolph, how old are you? If you don't mind me asking. B Gamer says, okay, elderly advice. Stick in some streams that play some games like Gary's Mod or something like multiplayer. Some streams just answering questions like this stream. Let's see. So, you know what? I seldom like to give advice because what if I'm wrong? I don't want to steer someone down the wrong avenue. So what I try to do is maybe help guide people to ask themselves the key questions so they come up with an answer. And not being a gamer. I tell you what though, because I was trying to grow my subscribers, I started hanging out with some gamers on YouTube, of course, and they become some of my favorite channels. It seems to me, if you want to go where people just, do the answering questions and stuff, that should be separate. If you want the gaming, go to a place that specializes in gaming. You know what I mean? Not that either one is right or either one is wrong. But sometimes when you want a game, you just want a game. And then you always got me. You can come here and you can have a discussion. Barb says they hold the first month. Man, all kinds of rules, don't they? What do they need my money for? Randolph said, no, I thought around that age. Well, that's good. I try to stay in pretty good shape. I don't like saying I'm in good shape for my age. I'm in good shape. Randolph says that 60. I will be there next year. I actually just turned 59 in April. So Barb says, Randolph, I'm older than you. Randolph says, true, good idea. V-Gamer says, I will still take it if you're wrong, Dad. Okay, let me know how it turns out for you. I'll be here. Randolph says, I like that advice. Barb says, we are all made different. That's why the world turns around each day. Wise words, as usual, from our friend Barb. And Barb, thank you, my friend. Very much appreciated. It's very, very kind of you. Randolph says, yes, that is true. I hate gamers. Wolf says, choose the one that fits your mood and lifestyle. Best at that time. Choose the one, mood and lifestyle, best at that time. I need to say that correctly. Randolph says, that's why I said you look great. Well, thank you. My workouts have changed through the years. Varying degrees of, how extreme I take them. Now they're much more relaxed. They're days of intensity, days of just kicking back and getting into motion. But I do it every day. Barb says, we all need help at some times. We certainly do. And you know what? The right help at the right time always shows up if you're open for it. It might not be what we expect, but it's always there. T says, we're all unique. The world would be boring if we're all the same, or even if we was like robots. Very true. Very true, T. Randolph says, great. Barb says, boy, sis, you are certainly right. So Randolph, I just subscribed to you. Just to stay connected, my friend. Definitely enjoy your company. So yeah, I started the conversation off. I put out a little video on A Course in Miracles and the Tao of live streaming. Wolf said, didn't intend to make it a tongue twister. You didn't, Wolf, not at all. It made actual perfect sense, but sometimes things inadvertently turn out to be a tongue twister. See what I mean? For me. When I talk, I need to remind myself to slow down, be mindful. It's not a stutter, but there's a speech hiccup, for lack of a better expression. Tongue gets ahead of me. Randolph says, so do I work out? Awesome. I agree with that. We're all unique. You're welcome, my friend. What type of workout do you like to do, Randolph? I started working out when I was young. With body weight and a bull worker when I was like 11. And then when I was around 12, I started lifting weights and mainly lifted and with other things through much of my life until I started doing more body weight stuff. I did a long stretch, a decade of ultra running. Barb says people want us to do a live about cryptids. What's cryptids? But I have to get more strength back. Yeah, you don't want to rush into it. B-Gamer says, I will try to donate on my other account someday. So I have your name saved and subscribe. Hey, I appreciate the subscription. And my friend, I will return the favor. Barb says, same hiccup here, Yogi. Randolph says, walking. Walking is one of the all-time best things that you can do. It might be the only thing you need to do. In my last few years of ultra running, I largely gave up. I still ran for fun, but I largely gave up training for running, for ultras, and I walked. And I ended up doing many of my walks, the really long stuff, 24-hour races, faster. I got better times than when I walked, and I recovered quicker. You can do everything walking, any kind of race, and you can walk it. I got to be a fairly fast walker. I did a 36-mile race. It was a 50K, but it was long, so it came out to 36. And I did that in 7 hours and 15 minutes. Wow, you had a heart attack at 16. So walking has obviously kept you fit and alive. It's a big testament for walking. Let's see. Barb says, like Bigfoot and Roguro. I'm not familiar with that, but is that like a bayou type of Bigfoot? Ah, there you go. Creatures that have yet to be recognized by science. Thank you for that, Wolf. Thumbs up for Yogi. Appreciate the thumbs up. Randolph says that's so cool. Let's see. Randolph says yes, from a drug. Well, I won't go into detail. I've been down that route myself way back in the day. Barb says a French werewolf. Okay. You know, I think I've seen that before. Years ago, I read some of Charlene Harris's novels, and I think she might have used that term. Ruggaroo. All right, I think I got that. Oh, no. Rogaroo. Yeah, I guess ro is more French. Rogaroo. Thank you for the cheat sheet. Much appreciated. That would be, Barb says either was right. Barb, that would be a fun live stream. Sometimes I wonder, should I come into a live stream with a specific point and stick with it? Just talk about that. Randolph says, what's your nationality? I'm American on the East Coast in the state of Maryland. Pretty good mixture of stuff. My last name is McCarty, so it's Scotch-Irish. My mom's maiden name was Schultz, so German, but way back. And my grandmother, my grandmother's maiden name, my mom's mother's maiden name, was Sabo, which is Hungarian, and she came straight from Hungary. So my most direct connection outside of, being American would be Hungary. As the Scotch-Irish, the McCartys came over in the late 1600s. How about you, Randolph? Barb says, Nupgaroo, European French. Okay. Barb says, I think so, if I could get enough in StreamYard without trolls. I still haven't made up my mind with StreamYard. I keep going back and forth. Our friend Squirrel Sniper probably could talk at length about some of these subjects. Greetings, beautiful souls from across the pond, but under the same skies. Greetings, Squirrel Sniper. How's your back feeling? Let's see. Wolf says, no fun and only one subject. I agree. And I tried. But, and although I could talk about one subject with lots of segues, of course, but it seems unfair to people to keep bringing it back to what I want to talk about. You guys didn't show up just to hear only what I want to talk about. Um, it's an open conversation. Randolph is in Michigan. Beautiful state. I drove up to the Upper Peninsula to Sault Ste. Marie and drove across Ontario into Toronto area. We went to Algonquin State Park. Province Park, I should say. Jacob's here. Another burpee master. Says, greetings, salute, and blessings to you all. Big salute to you, Mr. Yogi. Hit the like button for our great friend here. Much love. Much love to you, my friend. Sorry I missed your live, but I did catch you on the replay. Barb says hi to Sniper. Squirrel Sniper says, when I stop to think about all the people I've lost along the way, I'm starting to question whether a tour guide is really the right job for me. I would definitely question that, Sniper. I think you were meant to have a chainsaw in your hand. Let's see. Randolph says I'm part Indian, Polish, and some German. Native American Indian or Indian Indian? Score Sniper says only just thing. Back is back to being a back. That's how we want it to be. T says, hey, Squirrel and everyone. I miss listening and by with my hands. Didn't catch that last part, T. I miss listening and by with my hands. Barb says, family is now gathering. Let's see. Randolph says, I know the name Schultz and McCarty. Yeah, Schultz is a familiar German name. McCarty, not quite as common. Although there is an area in north central Pennsylvania where you cannot shake a stick without hitting McCarty on the head. Let's see. Barb says, I wish I could still investigate spooky homes and lands. That's what our friend C. Payton does. Jacob says, it's all good, brother. Mr. Yogi, I'm sorry I wasn't able to get to your live stream earlier, too. I've been busy today. Oh, it's a Saturday. Saturday's one of those days. We got a Laughing Out Loud by Randolph. Let's see. T says, Yogi, I'm starting my diamond paintings and sorting out the gems ready. Awesome. Hey, did you make up your mind if you're going to try to do it in bed or not? I don't remember. I know Barb said, that it was a precarious situation. I'm not 100% sure that I could properly say the word precarious again, but I just did. I'm not going to the well one more time. Let's see. Squirrel Simper says to Barb, have you tried dowsing? You can still investigate from where you are through remote viewing. It's an interesting subject. It is an interesting subject, and Squirrel Sniper has some great information on it. Barb says, Jacob, you didn't get heat stroke, did you? Must be careful of the heat. Yeah, he's in South Carolina, too. So he's got the heat and he's got the humidity, like you guys do. But as you said, you guys take the cake with the humidity. Barb says hi, or I'm sorry, T says hi to Jacob. Barb says, yes, I douse all the time, but just had surgery and can't rain for me to go. Can't wait. Can rain for me to go out in my electric wheelchair. Ah, that makes sense. Yeah. Well, the remote viewing that Squirrel Snapper suggested, and maybe he has some tips. Wolf says, yes, heat stroke is very bad. I ended up in the hospital with heat stroke. Well, emergency room. It was a hot 50K. Wasn't so much from the heat, it was that I ate something that I should have at an aid station and I got very sick, so I couldn't take in any liquid. Anytime I tried to drink water, and I guess I had about 9 miles left in the race, and it was a mountain race. I was bee stung. I was pretty miserable, and I had been going fast because I was shooting for a PR, and I was on track for it. I didn't make it that last 9 miles. I had to walk most of the way. Every time I tried to sip water, I just threw it back up. Miserable race. And of course, I did it again the very next year. Jacob says he didn't, but thank you for the love and care, Sister Barbara. That's what she does, Jacob. T says, I'm in my wheelchair at the desk, as there is a desk lamp here, but most rooms can't have desk lights. I need to buy one. Randolph says, I like your birth month, April. April 17th. Pretty time of the year. Although June is my favorite month. June, it seems we hit that peak greenness. Everything is just that deep, deep, deep green. It's the shade of life. Absolutely love feeling immersed in it. When you look up and you feel like the leaves and the branches are extending themselves to you. And we got Runner Boy, aka Lifter Boy, aka Bench Press Champ, PR King, Mr. 12-Week Program, Mr. Squatting Ass to the Grass, the Deadlift King himself, in the house. Runner Boy, how are you? Barb says I use white willow or my copper piping with PVC piping, so many hands don't touch copper. Interesting. Barb says, yes, you told me, Bumblebee, how's it working out for you? Barb says, when I go hunting for spirits, I can usually tell outside the home if there is any. I have never hunted for spirits. T says I get heat stroke as my body can't keep cool. I overheat. Temperature is going up Monday, and I'm expected to move hotels Monday. Not looking forward to it. Yeah, I know, my friend. T has told Barb she's just putting the gems in the pots. I'm glad you guys made that connection, the crafting. Barb says it gets easier and more fun. Let's see. Jacob says I try to slow down, take breaks if needed, drink plenty of water, but sometimes I get a little ahead of myself and want to go all out in the heat. Yeah, sometimes, you know what? Heat can be addictive. I mean, that's why people do hot yoga. Oh, I forgot. There is a tropical storm. Barb says we're all watching the Gulf, for there is a tropical storm coming north, so we are preparing if we have to leave. I hope not. Jacob says, to you, Runner Boy. Hey, Jacob, are you subscribed to Runner Boy? Runner Boy is still sick. Sorry about that. He either had a cold or maybe a chest infection. It's going to do two live streams this week. Awesome. Taking my little pill, herbal supplement, and I did it tonight without anyone reminding me. However, I do want to put out a reminder for our friend T, for you to take your herbal supplement. Barb says, Yogi, once you do and find some, you would go back for more. The hair on your arms stand up. Oh yeah, I bet. I've had some spooky experiences. I just never went out and hunted anything. I had some great experiences in nature. I've been close to what they call thin places, the Celtic lore, that the veil between two worlds have been worn so thin that there's places that are so thin you can pass through them. Different dimensions. According to the Celtic lore, that is where the little people, that is where the fairies reside. Jacob says, prayer for safety, for if it does come your way, Barb. Thank you for that, Jacob. Jacob always has a kind thought for everyone. Barb says it's very good to make craft buddies. Yeah. You know what? I would imagine it would be. Same way it is, me talking about meditation and stuff. It's just great having that connection. Randolph says, happy I made a connection. I was with you on the stream. I am too, my friend. Hey, I do it every day. I actually do it three times a day, which makes me sound like I have no life whatsoever. I do, but I include this as part of my life. I really enjoy it. Jacob's gonna check and go see. Yeah, he's a good connection to have. Randolph says I take herbal supplements as well. Yeah, now that one, herbal supplement, but it also has a little bit of melatonin in it. Barb says the hunting is the best part. Getting away from the bad ones is hard. Yeah, that's why I don't want to do it. Jacob's already subscribed to Runner Boy. Awesome. So Runner Boy has a growing channel. Getting bigger and bigger. Let me go check him out real quick. If you guys aren't subscribed, there we go. Definitely do so. He is 16 away from hitting that 1,000. And he definitely deserves getting that 1,000 and getting monetized. Not only does he do great workouts, very precise, but he's great at editing. I would say much better than me, but I don't edit, so everyone is much better than me. I've never edited a single thing on YouTube. Not even my typos. T says, Barb, keep safe from storm. Where do you go if it's bad? Barb has excellent advice. Right to the point. And the other way. That was, both you and Squirrel Sniper gave me a legitimate laugh. Fair enough says, okay, I would love and look forward to seeing you. Awesome, my friend. Very much appreciated. DFTR says, safe Barb. When you were going live again, we miss you. Thank you for that. Barb says, we've seen it a few years ago, for We Cannot Go with the dogs. It was horrible. But yeah, you know what? What else can you do? Can't leave our dogs behind. When the tornado hit my backyard two weeks ago, um, and I got the notification to head to the basement, um, and I went to get my cats, and they were not cooperating. They were scared, and they're cats. They don't want to, go down into a dark basement. So I thought, well, if they can't go, I don't go. We ride the storm out together. Barb says, DFTR, I need to heal for my surgery. The doctor says, okay, we will go live. Barb, I'm really glad to see you're being mindful and you're taking care of yourself. You're not rushing into anything. Let's see. T says, Barb, you have a safe space to go to if it's very bad. Let's see. Oh, Runnerboy. Runnerboy says, did you like the speech in my video today during my PR? I did. Talking about the haters. Well said. Supporting each other. Seems like so simple, doesn't it? Runnerboy shows up and puts in legitimate lifts, hard work. No one trains harder. No one trains smarter. What is there to hate? It's weird. I see absolutely nothing to hate on Runnerboy's channel. I don't see anything to hate on anyone's channel, to be honest with you. Everyone's expressing themselves the way they express themselves. But, with Runnerboy, it's very simple. Lift. Show up. Put heavy weights on your back. Squat down, get back up. Bring it down to your chest, push it back up. TFTR says, oh my God, you had another cancer surgery? Randolph says, I love Barb. Barb's an easy person to love. Let's see. Barb says, not cancer, blood blot on my right kidney and cracked rib. Barb says, no, not our kids. Exactly. Randolph says, I love cats too. Yeah, me too. People often say, cats or dogs. And my answer is yes, cats and dogs. I love cats, I love dogs. The only thing, I wouldn't want to have like a pet bird. I'm not against pet birds or a pet snake, because what we love about birds are that they're birds, that they fly, that they're free, that we get to look at them in the sky or on a branch. And it would just make me sad to keep one cooped up. Barb says she still has to have the cancer surgery. He says, crap, rib, ouchie. Ouchie indeed, my friend. Ben Gleck. Ben, how are you? Appreciate you coming in. Ben says, I'm so glad you're okay, Barb. I was worried these past few days. Barb says she might not be out of the woods yet. Still have 10% of cancer on the kidney. They're watching, but 2 spots on my liver. Well, I'm glad you're being, it's being monetized. Randolph says, I feel that. So do I. Yeah, it's just, it just seems strange, to look at a bird and know what it is and then say, I want to keep that. That's not to be, dismissive to anyone who does have a bird. Just my own personal view. Barb says, I raised birds and they were flying everywhere, but I got so dirty, so we let them go. Randolph says, well wished for Barb. Thank you for that. I've read about falconry, where they say you never really own the falcon because they're always free to go. Um, but of course, we've conditioned them to come back. And when you condition something, including ourselves, you've lost a certain degree of freedom. Anything that conditioned can't truly be said to be free. So anytime that we are conditioned to do this or to do that, if we find ourselves doing things by rote without even considering it, we've lost a little bit of our freedom without even knowing it. Let's see. Wolf says, I feel the same way about wolves. Growing up, I thought they were one, but they belong wild, not with captivity. Exactly. Did you ever see the movie in the 80s? Farley Mowat was the author, wrote the book. I love the book. Never Cry Wolf. Who felt the same way, loved wolves, but he didn't want to have one in captivity, so he went out and lived with them. Let's see, Randolph says, my friend had cancer, so I truly understand. I appreciate your empathy, Randolph. Barb says, I'm okay. I got God with me and Jesus. Let's see. Wolf says, we have it on DVD. I absolutely love it. I read the book. I got it for a Christmas present for my parents. Maybe I was in 7th or 8th grade. Absolutely loved it. I need to get a copy of that. I've been in the mood lately. I've been going to Amazon and buying some. I've tried to keep all the old books from my childhood, and I did a pretty amazing job. But the ones that I could no longer find, I've been ordering just to have. It was a great book, and it was a great movie. Randolph says, yes, so true. Never cry wolf. Jacob says, great job in those kettlebell press, brother Miss Yogi. Thank you. A long ways from where I used to be with the kettlebell presses when I was specializing with kettlebells. But I'm not trying to specialize anymore. Randolph says, I have very much empathy. Used to work in the health field. Yeah, that can be tough. That can be tough sometimes, can it? Having that big of a heart, having empathy, and being around people who are suffering so much, and taking on that little bit of suffering. You come home and you're just exhausted because you've been holding their suffering so tightly, so close. Barb says, this go around was so sudden, it was scary. Didn't think what happened during the MRI. I would have been bruised so badly. Yeah, that was an unfortunate event for you, Barb. So sorry you had to go through that. Wolf says he's more into audiobooks. I have been. Back when you could buy them on CD, I would buy them and I would listen to them in my car. Now they're not so readily available. I thought about getting Audible. Let's see. Eric Point says, good night, Yogi. Another great live. Good night, everyone. Good night, Eric. Thanks for hanging out. Very much appreciated. Man, hopefully I'm going to catch another one of your live streams. I enjoy the replay and catching up, but it's never quite the same as, that energy when you're there in person. So I will be on the lookout. Randolph says, this is the love for people. It is. And sometimes, we need to learn to decompress from the suffering of others. I'm not saying escape it, but have our own outlet for it. Um, you know, I was a caregiver with my father for my mom during her 10 years decline with Alzheimer's. And then I was my father's caregiver, who, a very easy job until his last year. And then I was his critical caregiver. Um, and that was tough. I did not think I was up for the job. And you never think that until when it's someone that you love and you just step up and you do everything that needs to be done without even thinking, am I ready for this? T says I have Audible. I know you can get a lot of stuff on YouTube actually as well. Jacob says, hey, and good night to brother Eric Lapointe. Burpee Brothers in Arms. T says, yes, working in healthcare is very hard. Yeah, and you and Medic were on the front lines in the industry. Wolf says, I have that as well. So I might need to consider getting Audible. Randolph says, well, yes, it's been there. Barb says, when people hurt, I can feel it, so I must put up a shield. And at times you don't love the people so much, you don't want the shield. Understandable. Randolph says it's not in the health field anymore. Are you still working, Randolph, or are you retired? Let's see. So, I'm probably going to talk for about 10 more minutes and call it a night myself. A little bit of an early live stream. Oh, let's see. Randolph says, with my parents. It is hard with your parents. Seeing the people that loved you so much and through so much suffering. Jacob says, love is what brings others together. Love brings patience, hope, gathering support, giving to others. Love is a light to bring the light out so as to share with others. That's beautifully said, Jacob. And you know what? I couldn't agree more, my friend. You spend 5 minutes on Jacob's live stream, his workout, and you get a sense of how big his heart actually is. Randolph says it's true, and he's still working. Barb said, well said, Jacob. Very, very well said. T says, Randolph, I was hit by a drunk driver and lost my career. The broken guy says, it's crazy to think back to a time when a splinter can end you. Yeah, it is. And you know what? In the big picture of things, it wasn't that long ago. History is closer than we sometimes imagine. My dad was born in 1927. We talked about this with Eric Lapointe a couple of days ago, maybe it was a week or so ago. The people who were still alive when my dad was born. I think Wyatt Earp, if you guys remember Wyatt Earp, I think he passed away in 1926 or 1927. My father, Bat Masterson, another famous gunfighter turned sports writer, died in the 30s. My dad was alive when there were still Civil War veterans, when there were still former slaves. I was alive when there were still people from the Spanish-American War, World War One. Barb says, everyone, I'm getting tired. Need to go and lay down. Blessings sent to everyone with hugs and love. Talk to you later. Barb, thank you. Appreciate you being here. Get some rest. I'm going to go to bed myself, not too far from now. Randolph says, sometimes you have to learn to have to choose who you truly love. That's interesting, Randolph. You think you could expound upon that just a little bit? T says, connect to Barb. Take care and rest as much as you can. Wolf says, blessings to you all. Have a wonderful day. You too, Wolf. Appreciate you being here. Jacob says, blessing to you, Sister Barb. Big salute. Let's see. Randolph says, yes to Jacob. Broken God says, time is relative. It certainly is. By rights, we could say time is non-existent. Time is an illusion. But time from our perspective is certainly relative. Randolph says he's sorry about the incident with the drunk driver. Yeah, I join you with that. Randolph. Jacob sending blessings to Bumblebee T. T says, my granddad let me have one of his journals he did in the War in the Trench for my history project. I got a lot of points. Well, awesome. You still have it? T says, Randolph and Jacob, it's life. So, this was a fun chat, guys. We met some new friends. Got to hang out with some old friends. Can't ask for much more than that. We got a lot of wisdom. Let's see. T says, no, Yogi, he had it back when he died. I'm sure what happened to it, as I was a young teen. Well, I'm glad you got to see it. So, with that being the case, guys, let's call it a night. Again, it was a lot of fun. Definitely a chilled session. Appreciate everyone coming here. Randolph, my friend, very much appreciate you being here. T says, thanks, Yogi. Randolph says, sometimes love can be beautiful. But when I have been in some incidents, so I have learned to have some people to earn. You know what? We'll talk about that. That's a good subject to talk about. The essence of love. Jacob says, thank you for support, brother Mr. Yogi. Much love and respect to you. Thank you for having me on your live stream. It's an honor to support a great friend. And you know what, Jacob? I appreciate that very much because you are a huge support. And that means a lot. T says, Yogi, I drop a quick message when you close to update you. Okay. Well, we'll do that now. So, Barb and Wolf and Eric LaPointe and Squirrel Sniper, thank you guys for being here. T and Jacob, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for hanging out a little bit longer with me. And Randolph, very much appreciate making a new friend. Let's see. Randolph says some people need to earn love. Sometimes it comes. I'll definitely talk about that next live stream, if I remember. It is a big topic for me, for all of us. Randolph says, me too. Jacob says, have a great night. Rest well. You too, my friend. T says, take care all. So, thanks again, and thanks for the other new friends. You know what? I missed the first one that came in. Missed them completely. Alez, Master Roshi. Very nice. Thank you for everyone who showed up. I appreciate it. I will see everyone tomorrow.